Hello and welcome to the Fools on Stools podcast. My name is Kevin Walker, and as always, I'm joined by my co-stars Anthony Council and Cullen Brown. Today is Wednesday, March 16th, aka Austin 316 Day. I hope you're having a wonderful day. Thank you so much for letting us be a part of your day. If you have a great time and don't mind, please do post us, share us, or tell others about us. If you don't like what you hear, then simply tell no one. Today is National Freedom of Information Day. And Cullen, Anthony, I don't know about y'all, but I do think we do have quite a bit of information to spread today.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Also, we have some information on our feet. We're in slides.
Yeah, we are.
I think that's pretty cool.
That was not planned at all either.
Well, it's freedom of information.
Yeah,
it's
freedom
out
of
there.
information.
It's
I mean,
out there.
spring break, I didn't feel like wearing shoes today, so.
Yeah, I mean, we all kind of rushed to the studio over here today, ready to record a podcast. And, yeah, freedom of information is kind of important for what we're studying and hoping to make a career in. So,
Oh, for sure.
And there's
Very
a
grateful
lot
for
of
today.
There's a lot of information we got today.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. As y'all might know, if you are avid listeners, then we did miss last Friday. We just had a lot of stuff going on, some weather implications and stuff like that. But we are back and better than ever today. Got a whole bunch of stuff to talk about. I mean, everything from Tom Brady is back. I mean,
Baseball's back.
baseball's back. I mean, we got a lot of stuff coming back. We got high scoring in the NBA. And in the second hour, we are going to be making our picks for this year's March Madness bracket.
Yeah,
All
it's
right.
time. It's time.
Oh, it is. It is absolutely
Dun, dun,
time.
dun.
Dun.
Dun, dun, dun.
right.
So, but today, joining us for the first segment, we are going to be talking about baseball and everything that implies. We are going to be bringing in one of Cullen's buddies, a friend of the show. Cullen, you want to introduce him?
Ladies and gentlemen of the Fools on Stools podcast, please help me welcome Mr. Brendan Carson to the Fools on Stools podcast. Everybody give him a round of applause. Welcome in, Brendan.
Hey, guys. Thanks for having me.
Well, Brendan, we've got a lot to talk about today. Obviously, the main thing is baseball is back. After 99 days, baseball is returning. New collective bargaining agreement is reached. Brendan, can you kind of just go through the details of the collective bargaining agreement and what it means for both the MLB and the players?
I sure can. And like you said, 99 days, it was a long one for us baseball fans, let me tell you.
I mean, they really
Exactly.
should have just made it 100 just for the heck of it.
True.
Just to give everyone more of a heart attack?
Yeah.
No, thank you. But yeah, like you said, kind of jumping through it, there quite a bit was covered within that 99 days. One of the big things that they covered was just the threshold of money when it comes down to it. You have $230 million in 2023, and it's going to peak at $244 million in the final year of this agreement. And then, of course, they're just going to have to go back again and start negotiating all over again, which everyone loves. New penalty tiers now, so introducing new penalty tiers. It starts at $60 million past the threshold, and then the highest tiers used to sit $40 million above the threshold. But good thing for players now, too, that they're able to get. Minimum salary now, $700,000, and it's going to peak at $780,000 in the final year of that agreement. And then again, they're going to have to renegotiate. Within the preamble pool, you're looking at that bonus of $50 million. Postseason format, another big change that they got going on there. 12 teams, that's going to start in 2023. Another thing that's also going to start in 2023 is going to be that shift band. It's going to be interesting to see how a lot of players are going to react to that and how that defensive game is going to have to change up a lot. Another thing, too, kind of help with pace of play. You got the pitch clock that's going to be implemented. That'll be something, too, that pitchers are going to have to learn to kind of help speed up that game, since people like to say baseball's a slow game. Working on that. We also have the universal DH. It's another big one there. That way pitchers don't have to hit, because some of the pitchers out there are some of the worst batters you could ever see.
Ain't that the truth?
Finally, and then finally, the last thing, you're looking at ads on uniforms. Now, with that, they don't have a confirmed date yet.
Yeah, of course. And I'm going to go ahead and touch on some of the things that you left on there. They also added any prospect who finishes first or second in the year's race for Rookie of the Year will have considered played a year and will not be eligible for the next year following, even if they've only played half the season or et cetera, et cetera. I would probably deem this as the Randy Arozarena effect. For those who don't know, Randy Arozarena came in to play for Tampa Bay 2 years in a row and was a finalist for Rookie of the Year twice. And everybody was kind of upset about it because he had already played, and not an entire year, but he had played a major, a good part of that year, especially in that postseason season for the Rays. And also for the MVP race and the Cy Young, the finalists in the top 5 will have counted for a year. So that was another thing. And then the international draft is still yet to be decided on. They're going to come back and meet on that July 25th. And then they've implemented a draft lottery as well. So, Brendan, what are your thoughts on what they agreed on?
Man, I mean, honestly, when we're looking at it, it's mostly about the players. And I mean, the players need to get paid their dues, especially between all the issues that they've had with the minor league baseball teams and issues the players have suffered there tremendously. I mean, it's time players get due. I mean, they're the product of the owners. Last time I checked, I go to games for the players to watch them play, not to see how the owner runs the team.
Preach. Yeah, I definitely agree with that. No problems on this side from that. And then I know that they've talked. As of right now, we have an expanded postseason of 12 teams. I know that they've kind of flirted with the idea of making that a 14-team expansion. What are your thoughts on that?
I'm all for it if it makes it more competitive. I mean, that's the big thing too, and it gives other teams a chance to actually get in there. Especially because a lot of those, I mean, you have a lot of places out there that are really competitive, like the AL West, for example. I mean, you got the Astros, Mariners, A's, Angels, and you got a lot of strong competition in some of those, and it's given those chances to those teams that also deserve a chance. And maybe the Mariners will finally break that drought.
Yeah, we'll see about that. You did mention a lot of basically everything that's included into the CBA that's new going into either next year or in 2023. Could you just talk about, in your opinion, what's your favorite thing that was included into the CBA?
Man, I mean, like I said, one of the things is that minimum salary. I mean, just really giving those players what they need. But also, I mean, I personally not like the shift too much right now, and so I'm all for the shift ban. Especially when you have like Manny Machado, that's normally supposed to be at third. All of a sudden, he's all the way out there in like right field. I personally have a problem with something like that. I'm all for, hey, let's get some hits out there. Let's make the game a little bit more offensive, competitive. So I think that shift ban's really going to help gear the game towards a more offensive mindset, which is what we want, right? People want to go to baseball games. They want to see hits. They want to see the deep balls out there in the outfield, or home runs, or even just contact hits where you're getting on base.
Yeah,
I mean, chicks
dig the long ball, as they say.
Yeah, so. Yeah, for sure. And then the last thing I'll have to say on the CBA, I know I touched on it a little bit earlier, but they implemented this draft lottery, and I know a lot of people in the league and a lot of owners were complaining about the tanking in baseball. It's been going on for a long time. Different teams have tanked for certain prospects and just kind of getting to that. But they've implemented, like I said earlier, the draft lottery, which basically the top 6, or the top 6, aka the bottom 6 teams, have a 16.5% chance of getting one of those prospects. So what are your thoughts on this draft lottery, and do you think it'll truly help getting rid of the tanking in baseball?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think it will. I mean, that's one of the big things, too. Like, if you think about the NFL and, like, all the rumors right now with Miami and all that going on, I mean, that's one thing I think for sure it'll help. If you're not having almost like a guaranteed pick and it's more of a lottery, at that point you're going to actually try a little bit harder, especially to try to make sure you're not either dead last, because it's not for sure.
Right.
So at that point, yeah, I'm going to want to be more competitive with my team versus me just going, we're already sucking this year. Let's just tank anyways to get a better draft pick.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. So I know you're a huge baseball fan, and I know Kevin is too. What do you think is the biggest thing that baseball fans can look forward to this season, even though the season is shortened?
Man, honestly, just with all the trades that have been going on around the league right now, you have so many new players on different teams and just so many restructures that have been happening. It's going to be real exciting to watch all these new teams out there.
Yeah, I definitely agree. And actually, with that, let's go ahead and transfer over to all the free agency moves and all the trading and all the stuff that's been going on. I got some notables right here in front of me. So kind of the big ones was I would say the big ones and some that kind of came out of left field. Matt Chapman went to the Blue Jays. We had a little bit of a first baseman frenzy, still waiting on the decision from Freddie Freeman, but the Braves went ahead and got a deal with Matt Olson. So they'll be moving on. Freddie Freeman's in the race with, the Dodgers, the Red Sox, some other teams are in that mix. Anthony Rizzo signed with the Yankees. And we got some pitchers going some places. Kershaw went back to the Dodgers. Joe Kelly is going to the White Sox. Chris Bassett is going to the Mets. So the Mets are, a lot of people have been talking about, the the whole threshold of a cap per se. And I think they're calling it the what do they call the Cohen tax or something like that.
I think I've heard that too. Yeah.
The Mets are blowing past it, and they're just going all in, and I'm all for it. I want all the team. You got billions on billions on billions. Spend that money, get that team. The Mets are really building up their aces, really building up. Another team that really went out and is trying to get busy this year is, the Giants. They went out. They got Carlos Rendon, and they got oh boy. Who am I thinking of? They just made another signing not too long ago. Cullen, would you mind getting on that for me?
The Giants, you said?
Yes, they just pulled off another sign. I can't remember it off the top of my head though. And speaking of universal DHs, as we did earlier, Nelson Cruz is going to the Nationals. Eddie Rosario is back with the Braves. And then I guess this one I would say is kind of out of left. You got something, Cullen?
The most recent for the Giants is they signed Jock Peterson.
Oh, that's who I was thinking of then. Yeah, Jock Peterson. I didn't
a 1-year deal.
Yeah, so I didn't have time to put that in there. But there's a lot of action. There's still a good amount of time left. Matt Chapman went to the Blue Jays, all that. But there's also some players who are waiting. Carlos Correa. He's kind of up there, probably some would say the number one player waiting on a deal right now. Houston's trying to redo a deal to present to him, but he's also in the mix for the Yankees, the Cubs, and some other teams. Trevor Story's a hot shortstop on the market as well, along with Chris Bryant, or not Chris Bryant. Chris Bryant already signed, didn't he?
Yes, he did with the
Bryant
Rockies.
Got paid with the Rockies.
Yeah, he got paid. So, a lot of teams still, a lot of teams really getting in the mix this year.
Yeah, Zach Greinke's still, I think, available too.
No, he signed.
So did he? Oh, okay. This article's old then.
I believe he signed. And that's the tough thing keeping up with this stuff. It is happening as fast as we can report it. So, what are your thoughts on this? I know you talked on it earlier when Anthony asked you about, what you talked about, how it's the frenzy and everything, everything's kind of going everywhere and teams are getting all these different things. I want to talk this entire time. So, y'all tell me what y'all are thinking on this. This is some pretty great stuff for baseball with the drought that we've had.
Man, yeah. When you're talking about the craziness that's been going on, you look at the Yankees alone and look at that restructure that they've been doing to that team alone. You have Connor Falafa that they brought in. Like you said, Anthony Rizzo. They're really working on that infield is one thing I think just to try to improve.
Yeah. No. Sorry. Go ahead, Brendan.
Another thing, too, is like I said, Chris Bryant, he went and got paid from the Rockies. Like I said, 7 years, $182 million, also a no-trade clause with that.
Yeah,
you have some of these players going out there getting their money and power to them. Carlos Correa and then Freddie Freeman, too. The reason why some of these guys are waiting to sign with the team is because, they're looking for that paycheck that they deserve. These guys are some of the best of the best out there, and they're looking for it. Shoot, Freddie Freeman's jersey needs to be retired eventually.
Yeah, no kidding.
Right. So Brendan, so we have talked about the moves a little bit. I'm going to throw a little bit of a curveball at you in terms of just your opinions on this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
If you could give me your favorite move, your least favorite move, and then your sleeper move of so far of the MLB offseason.
That's a great question.
That is. Man, like I said, the Rockies picking up Chris Bryant. Him out there playing on that Coors Field, hitting those bombs. Out there in Colorado, that's the place to do it. So, I think he'll have a blast out there for a while. I think the big issue, though, is, Rockies and the competitiveness has kind of been an issue for him for some years. So, I mean, it was a good pickup, though, 100% by him. I mean, the Matt Olson with Atlanta kind of threw me off. I'm going to be honest there with you. I thought for sure Freddie Freeman was going to stay. But Yankees, man, a lot of people, and some of the Yankees nation been hating on Kiner Falefa. But, man, let me tell you something. That man has a glove, and he's a great contact hitter. They picked up a great guy for that team and what they're needing out there. I think he's going to really help move the bases around. And, I mean, like I said, he's able to move quick to the ball. He's able to get that release off to where he needs to and make accurate throws as well. Great pickup for him.
Awesome. Anthony, you got something?
So I know there's a lot of contracts that are going on, and I know when players sign these big contracts and, they sign to these great teams and they play a season, sometimes it doesn't go as well. Which contract do you think is going to, shoot someone in the foot or shoot a team in the foot, either this year or even the ones that have, long-term contracts for, 7 years, 5 years, 3 years? Which contract do you think is going to shoot a team in the foot?
It might honestly be the Blue Jays with Matt Chapman.
Really?
Yeah, don't get me wrong. He's a great player. Awesome guy. I just think with that Blue Jays and what they're really trying to do, especially with some of the big hitters that they have out there, and that team style, I mean, you got Vladdy Jr., you got Bo Bichette. I mean, just how that batting lineup is in general. I mean, Matt Chapman was an interesting pickup with it, in my opinion. But, I mean, I could be wrong, and power to me if I'm wrong. I mean, Blue Jays are one of those teams that I have on my list on definitely need to watch for the year as well.
Okay, so you just touched on it. You're kind of already projecting towards the season that's about to start here in mid-April. Could you kind of give us your insight of who you think might be some of the top teams to look for come October time, maybe for the World Series?
I mean, if the Astros can definitely sign Correa again, I mean, I'd watch the Astros Braves again. Honestly, two solid teams out there. Also, not to mention, I mean, like we were talking about earlier, the Mets going out there getting money. I mean, you got DeGrom, Scherzer. I mean, that bullpen itself, that's going to be a mean bullpen for teams to have to face out there. Not to mention, I mean, the A's, I mean, they've been working on it too. I'd keep an eye on the A's. And like I said, Blue Jays are going to be a fun team to watch out there.
Yeah, I think it's been a while since the Blue Jays have been in contention for really anything. But I just, with how much we talked about baseball and how much it's on the downfall and all this stuff that was happening in baseball that was killing the game and the drought and the CBA weight and everything. This is the best possible thing for baseball. The attention, the craziness. I mean, baseball needs this so bad. And all the things that they agreed on in the CBA, I am very excited for, and I'm very happy. And I think that this could really turn things around for baseball.
Absolutely, yeah. And I mean, like we were talking about, I mean, all the agreements that they came upon, it's making the players a lot more happy. And in turn, when you have happy players, they're going to help produce more, right, which is going to be more entertaining for us fans. And then, I mean, one more thing, too, that I forgot to mention on Team to Watch. I'd honestly keep an eye on the Rangers, man. I know last year they didn't do too great, but the moves they've been making, the money they've been spending, it's going to be a night and day difference on that team, let me tell you.
Okay, so you just mentioned the Rangers. Me and you have personally gone to some Ranger games. You are a Rangers fan.
Absolutely.
I want you to give us your just, as unbiased as you can be, because I get it, we're all fanatics and sports fans, so it's very hard to do that. Give us your unbiased analysis of the Rangers' outlook for this upcoming season and what you would like to see more of moving forward.
So, I mean, here's the thing. If we're lucky, it'll be like a wild card kind of thing, right? But honestly, it's the first year for this new team. So I think people need to kind of tamper down a lot of these high expectations some people are having for them. You got to remember, their first year, basically. Think of it as a new team, right? Guys got to learn how to play with each other and everything like that. We're going to do way better than last year, don't get me wrong. I mean, only 60 wins and 102 losses. It's hard to do much worse than that.
Fair enough.
And with the talent that they have alone and some of the prospects they have coming up too, it's a team to keep an eye on long term.
Yeah. Now, what would if you had to, because you mentioned the AL West, how tough of a division it's going to be this upcoming season. Are they competing for the division? Are they looking more or less for like a wild card playoff spot? What are your expectations for the Rangers?
But like I said, I mean, it's a wild card spot for sure. I mean,
Okay.
honestly, I give the AL West to the Astros this year again. I mean, they've kept pretty much the same team, and you have Verlander coming back from his surgery. Whew, I'm telling you.
So, as a Rangers fan myself, I say that the Rangers just need to go out and get pitchers on pitchers on pitchers on pitchers. Do you agree with that?
Oh, 100%. They've never wanted pitchers, and that's just the mindset of ownership is we're so scared to pay for pitchers in case they get hurt. Which, I get it, but the way to win games and to be more defensive competitive is to have good pitching.
Who do you think the Rangers ace is right now?
Right now, probably Dunn is probably the best one.
Say that one more time. I think you might have cut out. I'm sorry.
I said Dunn probably is going to be our best one out there.
Gotcha. So the Rangers did have a high draft pick. The kid from Vanderbilt was a Leader. Was his
Leiter.
Leiter.
Jack Leiter.
Leiter. Excuse me, I mispronounced his name. Can you talk about kind of his expectations for his season? Is he going to be on the Rangers opening day roster? Or is he going to be having to go through the minors and then work his way up?
I don't.
Oh, he's got to work his way up.
Yeah,
Okay.
I don't think he'll be on the roster this year.
Okay.
No.
Um,
Now, again, he's one of the prospects to watch. I have him as one of my prospects. Sam Huff and Josh Jung. And when Josh Jung comes back from that surgery, man, he's going to go through real quick, probably with the Express, get back in that baseball groove, bump him right back to third.
Fair enough.
All right, well, Brendan, thank you for joining us on this topic of baseball. It's finally great to be talking about baseball again and not being depressed about it. I think you can agree with that.
Yeah, this definitely
100%.
this definitely won't be the last time we're talking about it, and hope to have you on in the future, Brendan.
Absolutely, guys. Hey, thanks for having me.
Not a problem.
Yep, and that is Brendan Carson, fellow fan of the Fools on Stools podcast, one of the day one listeners. Boys, what'd you think?
I think it was great. Like I said, I just am glad that we can talk about baseball
Again.
without being upset.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, we've talked about baseball before, but not MLB. I mean, you went on your little soapbox last podcast about.
We're just going to pretend that didn't happen, okay?
Well, it was baseball.
But we're going to forget it, okay? We're
Yeah.
going to forget it. Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Sounds great.
But some big news that is not baseball related. The 7-time Super Bowl champ and 3-time AP MVP.
Brady's back. Just don't even introduce him.
Thomas
He doesn't,
Edward Patrick
he
Brady
doesn't, he
Jr.
doesn't need an introduction,
He
Anthony. It's
does.
Tom freaking Brady, okay?
I mean, he does.
He is back.
He's the GOAT.
It's Tom
he's
Brady,
back.
okay?
He is the GOAT. Pay some respect to the greatest of all time.
Okay, but when you say Tom Brady, everybody already knows the accolades.
Okay,
Kevin-
for the people who don't listen to the Fools on Stools podcast and is sleeping under a rock.
They may have been.
Okay, Tom Brady is back. Tom Brady is back, and Kevin is freaking out that Tom Brady's back. He's so happy Tom Brady's back.
No, I am freaking out because the freaking Mavericks. I know we're going to get to NBA later, but the freaking Mavericks just beat the Brooklyn Nets on an insane Spencer Dinwiddie 3.
All right. This isn't a live show. We got to focus on what the topic
Sorry.
at hand.
Apologize. I got a little
We'll
bit
get to
static over
basketball
that.
after
Yeah, we'll get to
football,
that.
But like I said, Tom Brady's back after 40 days of being in retirement. He decides to come back and with, quote unquote, unfinished business.
I don't know what unfinished business.
What unfinished business does that mean, Cullen?
Not winning a Super Bowl before he retired.
I guess, or throwing a touchdown while Jalen Ramsey is covering someone.
Listen, so it was posted on Instagram, him talking to international soccer star Cristiano Ronaldo, and they were sitting there, they were chatting. I think his son was on the pitch. Brady had been in attendance for Ronaldo's Manchester United game, and Ronaldo was like, "You're finished, right?" And Brady kind of just looked like, even though he had been retired for up to this point, he looked like he wasn't really committed. He shortly thereafter announced that he is returning to football and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. This to me is not shocking. It's not like crazy huge because, I mean, we all just saw Tom Brady go out and throw for the most yards in the league, most completions. I believe it was the most touchdowns too, if I'm not mistaken.
Most touchdowns.
And, he's sitting there, right? And he's like, I wanted to play till 45. He will turn 45 in August. So he'll sit there and complete that goal that he kind of set out for himself however many years ago when he said it. And I think, honestly, Brady, whenever you get into that point where you're like an all-time great, you have the right to determine when you want to go out. Now, he may have thought he could have been like, he thought with his wife and everything that, like, hey, maybe this was time. And he sat there for 40 days, and based on those 40 days, he kind of had some self-reflecting and all this other stuff, and he just kind of sat there and thought, you know what? I'm not done yet. I got one more ride in me.
It felt longer than 40 days, or is that just me?
No, I mean, it was short.
It probably felt like forever for him.
I think you were just soaking up in the fact that he was retired. Maybe it lasted longer for you.
Honestly, I mean, I'm kind of glad he came back. I mean, whenever you play at that caliber, now, of course, we here at the Fools on Stools preach mental health. So if you don't feel like you can play, then don't play, obviously. But if you feel like you can play and you were as competitive as Tom Brady is, and I mean, probably the most well-oiled machine human there has ever been, and just constant competitiveness, and just you can't go out doing that good and not, crave more.
That's true.
That's true.
I mean, look, the two best players on the planet right now in their respected sports or even leagues is Tom Brady and LeBron James. At that age, Cullen, okay?
I know.
Stop it. I saw the eyes, okay? They're raised whenever I said that. At that age, Tom Brady and LeBron James are the two best at what they do, period. At 30-something and at 40-something for Tom.
It's 37 for LeBron.
37, 45. I mean, it's incredible, I think I heard Tom Brady was watching the Lakers game and watching LeBron James, and he dropped like 50 one game, and he was like, okay, I'm coming back.
Yeah.
I'm coming back because I'm the greatest of all time, period. And he is.
Thank you, Cristiano Ronaldo.
Yeah. No, and listen.
And he's one of the greats, too.
He is.
Also,
at his advanced age, yeah, you're right.
Because, when GOATs talk, they like to GOAT talk.
They hear each other.
Oh,
Yeah,
they do.
they
They do. It's like, oh, you're leaving? You sure?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Ronaldo's not sitting there talking that late after the game with just anybody.
No.
Oh, no.
And
No.
not just any conversation either. Like, oh, you're...
I can't believe that Tom Brady was just sitting in the middle of the stands, though.
That too.
No, I mean, he was sitting there. He was
being a fan.
yeah.
You think he's as big internationally as he is in the United States?
not as big internationally, no.
No
Like
way.
Ronaldo's more well known around the world than Tom Brady is,
Yeah.
but like Ronaldo knows who Tom Brady is.
Isn't Ronaldo the most followed
Instagram
Instagram
athlete?
athlete?
Yep.
Yeah.
It's like 300 million or something like that.
Ronaldo couldn't just go into a game and just stand there in the stands. Like, too many people would know who he is.
That's true. But listen,
That is very true.
getting back to Tom Brady, I'm gonna throw.
We did go on a Ronaldo. We did kind of go on a Ronaldo tangent right there.
I'm going to say something, and I need y'all to just hold in y'all's emotions until
You
I
know
get it done.
You know it's going to be hard for me.
I know, but Anthony.
I'll
pleading
try,
with
but
you.
I'm not making any promises.
Listen. I'm just gonna go over because I'm gonna credit Field Yates with this tweet.
If you say something about a Super Bowl, oh my gosh.
Last 9 seasons, Tom Brady.
Oh.
2013 lost a playoff game. 2014 won a Super Bowl.
Oh no. Oh.
2015 lost
Dang.
playoff game. 2016
Damn it,
won a Super Bowl.
Yates.
2017 lost playoff game.
No.
2018 won Super Bowl.
Stop
2019 lost playoff game. 2020 won Super Bowl. 2021 lost a playoff game. 2022 question mark.
Okay, but he's never retired and then came back. So we need to see the trend for that. Retired, came back, won a Super Bowl. Retired, came back, won a Super Bowl. Retired, came back, won a Super Bowl.
All I'm saying is Field Yates was speaking facts right there.
This is what's going to happen. He's going to come in, okay, day one, okay, first game, he's going to wear number 45, okay?
I'm dead.
He's going to wear number 45, and he's going to play all right. He's going to have a couple touchdowns, throw a couple yards, it's going to be all right.
Tom Brady's never going to have an insane game. It's always going to be an accumulation of a great game after a great game after a great game after a great game. And then at the end of the season, he'll just break all the records.
No. He's going to have a Jordan comeback moment.
Oh, my
because someone's going to make fun of him, be like, yeah, that 45
I don't think anybody,
don't work.
Anthony, I understand where you're trying to go with this, but I don't think anybody in sports is doubting Tom Brady coming back.
It sounds like you are a little bit.
I'm not. I think he's going to come in and ball
That sounds
out.
a little bit.
Hey.
Tom Brady, when he does start the regular season, he will become the oldest quarterback to start a game in NFL history at age 45. I cannot wait. And not to mention,
I'm excited.
He don't look excited.
Kevin's looking.
I'm excited. I don't know why y'all are building up this perception that I am upset.
Well, as the show's Tom Brady hater,
I'm not.
and the fact that you sat there and you were getting upset when we were announcing Tom Brady's accomplishments, you wouldn't let Anthony get through his spiel.
Right, I was
Because
trying to do
it's
an intro.
Tom freaking Brady. He doesn't need an introduction.
He absolutely does.
Do we name out?
He deserves it. Absolutely. Thank you, Anthony.
Yes.
Do we name out all of Michael Jordan's accolades when we say his name? No.
Yes, we do. The 6-time NBA champion, Defensive Player of the Year, Finals MVP, Michael Jeffrey Jordan.
Tom Brady came back, right? And he's back in an NFC South it's not great. Like the Saints are rebuilding.
They're coming out of the South. They're coming out of the South.
The Panthers don't know what their future is, and then Matt Ryan and the Falcons haven't looked like themselves in quite some time. So that division looks very winnable for Tom Brady, even though the Bucs are going to be losing some of their talent and everything. All I'm saying is if you win your division and you get to host a playoff game, and you got Tom Brady as your guy, it's just like, again, it's one of those things that we keep sitting there trying to rack our brain around. At some point, you just got to throw your hands up and just be like, you know what, Tom Brady, like you said, Kevin, just do not bet against him. Just don't do it.
It's back to the same old, don't bet against Brady. And it's simple. But we're going to jump off of the Brady.
Hold on. Anthony's got something to say. Hold on.
Oh, boy.
You got me chuckling because
I don't want to talk about Brady.
Because look, man.
Entire segment.
I'm just thinking, right? I bet Matt Ryan got so mad when he realized that Tom Brady's coming back.
Yeah.
Oh, come on, man.
Yeah.
He's coming back.
Russ was probably happy. He was like, I got out of the NFC just in time.
Hello, like for real.
And Big Ben's going to be like, oh, finally, I can enjoy my Hall of Fame speech. I don't got to be underlined by Tom Brady.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
But you were, as you alluded to, the Carolina Panthers and the Saints over there. We're going to talk about strictly football, but Deshaun Watson is now on the table for teams to look into, because of the matters that occurred. They were dismissed in a criminal charge way, so teams are allowed to look into getting Deshaun Watson. Of those teams are the Panthers, the Saints, the Browns, which we'll get into that more later, and the
Falcons.
And the Falcons, which...
And the Cleveland Browns.
I already said the Browns.
And the Houston Texans. And...
The Houston Texans are not in the run for Deshaun Watson. He does not want to play there.
Well, no, but they're saying... So I'm going to read you the team 1 week odds because I'm glad that you put that up. So plus 300 is Carolina's the current favorite. As this was 6 hours ago when this came out. Plus 400 is New Orleans Saints. Plus 700 is Atlanta Falcons. Plus 750 is Cleveland Browns. And then plus 800 is he remains in the Houston Texans organization. That's more than like Seattle Seahawks, for example, or the Philadelphia Eagles or some other team like that. For the record, the field, if it's just outside of any of these teams, is plus 500. So maybe it could be something like that. But the Houston Texans are listed there for the record.
Why would the Seahawks want to go out and get him? I mean, they got Drew Lock.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
all right.
I mean, who do they need?
Serious talk on the podcast. You worry about your quarterback for one. But anyways, look, Deshaun could go to a number of different teams. My bet is he's going home to Carolina.
He
played at Clemson, which is in the Carolinas and everything. They are the betting favorite. Christian McCaffrey, DJ Moore, that offensive mind of Matt Rule. I think it could be very appealing to him.
Okay, they're in South Carolina, Clemson. I just want you to know.
I know, but Clemson and the Carolinas in the north. It's going quote unquote home.
No, it's not. It's in South Carolina.
It's a stretch.
It's going home.
I'm from North Carolina.
I like that you tried it.
It's going home. But yeah, either way. I mean, let me do it this way.
It don't matter.
Talent-wise,
he's going to Cleveland. So
he's not going to Cleveland.
He's going to Cleveland.
He's not going to Cleveland.
He's going to Cleveland.
Why is he going to Cleveland, Kevin?
Because Baker Mayfield's about to lose.
Baker Mayfield's out. Because Baker Mayfield is out.
Job.
Okay.
I will pull up.
Just because one thing happens doesn't mean one thing's going to happen.
He about to lose
Okay, when
his
you
job.
put out a tweet saying, hey, it's been nice knowing you.
Yeah.
I'll see y'all on the other side.
That doesn't mean Deshaun Watson's going to be the one that replaces him.
Okay,
that's my point.
Oh, yeah, because they're just going to go out and get Jimmy Garoppolo, which is the most lateral move I've ever heard of.
I mean, I've been hearing talks about that.
Jimmy Garoppolo is definitely on the market, but no one is as hot on the market as Deshaun Watson right now, quarterbacks-wise.
Yeah, it is the Deshaun Watson sweepstakes right now, for sure. I mean, he hasn't played in a couple seasons, so of all the things, but yeah.
I'm just willing to bet that he's going to the NFC South, and if I had to pick one, I'm picking Carolina.
How good do you think he'll be coming right in?
He ain't going nowhere in the AFC, I'll tell you that much.
No, definitely not in the AFC.
AFC's too stacked.
Yeah, which is the reason why he wouldn't. The Texans are more likely or more trying to get him out of the AFC.
I know that.
But
you just said he wanted to go to Cleveland. Cleveland's in the AFC.
I just
But I gotta say, big ups for Russell Wilson going to the AFC though. Like I think that's a great move just because and he said it. He said I want to play with the best.
Yeah.
And those are like the best right now in the AFC.
Okay, so this is what
That division.
this is what
Oh yeah.
as of right now, Cleveland quarterback Baker Mayfield put out on his own social medias. I'm not going to read the entire thing, but this is a quote out of it.
Yeah.
Interesting. It says, "This is not a message with hidden meaning. This is strictly to thank the city of Cleveland for embracing my family and me. We have made many memories and shared growing in the process through all the ups and downs. I have no clue what happens next, which is the meaning behind the silence I've had during the duration of this process." And he goes on to thank Cleveland for everything that they've done, saying that Cleveland will always be a part of his life. And he just, he doesn't really know what's the next step, but it doesn't really look good for his future in Cleveland.
Yeah, that dunna was, watch out because Baker Mayfield.
It could be announced as soon as tonight, where the futures of both Baker and Deshaun Watson.
Yeah, of course.
But I did.
Our luck probably after we stop recording.
Speaking of the note, it was the first time I ever realized that Baker Mayfield's middle name is Reagan.
Yeah, I knew that.
I did not know that. So
I don't know why I knew that, but I knew that.
I found that, to be honest, the most interesting part of the note, because to be honest, Baker, your time may be up in Cleveland, and based on you putting that note out, it kind of signals the fact that it might be the end. But
it's over.
Baker, listen, you're okay. You're a nice guy. You're nice starting quarterback.
Okay, before you start going into this, do you want Baker Mayfield quarterbacking your Seahawks?
No.
Okay, then why are you trying to tell him he's a good quarterback?
No, I'm saying he's okay. I'm just saying he's okay.
So you would rather have Drew Lock over Baker Mayfield?
Because we could tank and get a better quarterback in next year's draft pick. Absolutely. Instead of going mediocre with Baker Mayfield. Yes. Abso-freaking-lutely.
I love the spirit. Love the spirit. Well, that's enough Baker Mayfield talk. But I do think that how that all plays out will be interesting. We got some signings to talk about. As of the most recent big signing, Von Miller, he doesn't go back to the Rams. He ain't going back to Broncos country. He is going to the Bills. Bills Mafia is going to welcome Von Miller to a 6-year, $120 million contract.
Yeah, the defense just got a whole lot more lethal.
Oh, it's scary. But talk about defense. Don't forget the Chargers. Chargers are out there getting busy. Khalil Mack. And everybody was like, "Whoa, that was out of left field." Then they go out. Man. Then they go out. They go get J.C. Jackson.
Big signing. I think the Chargers are the winner of the offseason so far in terms of all the NFL teams. Like they understand that Justin Herbert's on that rookie contract, and they go.
They're trying to go out.
They went and got Khalil Mack, so you can't go double team Joey Bosa over there because you have to pay respect to Khalil Mack. True. And then they go get one of the best cornerbacks in the game in J.C. Jackson.
He's not old either.
No, he's young.
No, and he's 26 years old, and he is about to. I mean, he just got paid in $82.5 million over 5 years. Chargers are making moves. They are realizing that it is an arms race over there in the AFC West with the Broncos getting Russell Wilson and Randy Gregory over from the Dallas Cowboys. The Raiders just signed pass rusher from the Cardinals. Chandler Jones, I believe the name is. Yeah, Chandler Jones.
Really good pickup for them, too.
I mean, listen, you're getting quarterbacks and you're getting pass rushers over there, and the Chargers did their part, also adding J.C. Jackson. They're the big winners in the offseason for me so far.
Yeah, it's huge this offseason. I mean, I know we're still waiting on to see what Deshaun Watson is going to do. I just think it's, like you said, the Chargers did win. They're winning the offseason right now. It's just let's just see how they do this season.
We'll see. They did miss out on the playoffs.
Because I don't want to see another tie, or I don't want to see the Raiders, beat the Chargers and they're not in the playoffs. I want to see them in the race for a Super Bowl.
Right.
I mean, a team that I think everybody should look out for is Miami. Miami is going out there and they are getting busy. They picked up. I think they kind of really started it all as far as the free agency frenzy kind of thing. They went out and got Chase Edmonds. And
Yeah.
then the Cardinals went around and they signed James Conner. So, good respect on both ends. I think they're both very good running backs. And then they kept getting busy. They went out and they got, you can rate the signing however you want, but they got Cedric Wilson from Dallas. And I mean, they've been making some moves, trying to show that they want better over there. And then they go out and sign
Cedric Wilson. I'm surprised you haven't mentioned him yet.
I did. I said Cedric
Okay,
Wilson.
so Cedric Wilson, and then it was
Jeez, Colin, maybe you listen to me.
oh, and it's burst time, Anyways, let's see. I'm trying to look. Oh, so they signed Edmonds. They signed Connor Williams from Dallas to a 2-year, $14 million deal, which I'm sure Dallas is happy about. I've mixed up the two Dallas names.
Yeah. Thank you for getting him off of our team.
But
we don't have any linemen anyway, so it don't really matter.
Again, it'll be very interesting to see kind of how the rest of the free agency period goes, because there's still names to be signed.
There's still a lot of notable free agents that have been signed. I mean, Mitchell Trubisky is over in Pittsburgh land.
Yay!
I mean,
I'm so excited.
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, it kind of was out of left field. I have been saying New York, New York, New York, but
I'm so happy.
But if you think about it,
are we sure that Mitchell Trubisky's better than Mason
well,
Rudolph?
hold on.
Are we sure that Mitchell Trubisky's better than Baker Mayfield?
But hold on.
That's not the question.
I'm
though.
just saying. Like, I would rather have Baker in Pittsburgh. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Sorry, Kev.
Oh no, sorry, no, yeah. You go ahead, Kevin.
So, if you're Pittsburgh, this is good because you got Mitchell Trubisky,
Okay.
but you didn't sign him much. So you can still go out and get Malik Willis in the draft like you want to.
I would do that.
So
too.
if Malik Willis is not playing great,
yeah,
which is not the expectation for a rookie quarterback, I would say,
right.
then you have something to fall on.
Yeah, because I mean, not every rookie quarterback is gonna be, like a superstar.
And they're not always going to fall right into the system. I mean, we saw that with kind of like the Chicago effect with Justin Fields and
Yeah.
the
That.
What do you mean with Justin? I mean, look,
I'm just saying, like it's kind of like you have an average quarterback, and then you have a really a good potential starting rookie quarterback in your future. And I think the Pittsburgh's trying to do that. They also, I mean, there's just a lot of people getting busy.
I just to me, Pittsburgh, I don't understand what they're doing, because you already have a placeholder there in Mason Rudolph. Why do you need to sign Mitchell Trubisky if you're not competing him as your starter?
Because Mason Rudolph is trash.
Yeah, well, and so is Mitchell Trubisky. So what is your point?
I would like Mitchell Trubisky over Mason Rudolph.
That's a strong debate there, because they're both hot garbage. So you
at least Mitchell Trubisky has won and taken a team to significance.
Oh, it's significance. What is significance?
You said
what?
Mr. Trubisky has brought them to significance?
You mean
They
when he
did
was
for a
carried
little bit.
when he was carried by that
No.
defense by Chicago to the playoffs? Yes.
Yeah, with Khalil Mack. What?
Yeah,
No.
and like what? No, Mitchell Trubisky's terrible. And you know what, Mason Rudolph? Again, if you want to argue that Trubisky's better than Rudolph, sure, that's fine. You're bringing you're bringing in another quarterback that, again, is a veteran that is not going to be your future at the quarterback position. Like, again, unless you think Mitchell Trubisky somehow that Mike Tomlin could get the best out of him, I just don't see what they're doing with this.
You're bringing in trash for garbage. And guess
Okay.
what the biggest thing about
All right,
trash
well,
and
I'm
garbage
gonna
is? They're
finish-
the same thing.
I'm going to finish off this NFL segment with some other notable signings that have happened. The Bills out there getting busy, as I said before, getting Von Miller. They also signed O.J. Howard with the assumption, I suppose, that Rob Gronkowski will probably come back to the Bucs because, you can't have Rob Gronkowski without Brady,
Yeah, it's
etc.
true. It's a yin-yang thing.
Yeah.
It's like
Panthers kind of trying to get busy. They go out and get Xavier Woods. Rest in peace to everything the Dallas Cowboys have tried to do because hot garbage. The Bengals are trying to do their best. They went out and they're going out. They're getting their pieces, trying to get some guards. The Browns, of course, get Amari Cooper. Franchise tag David Njoku, big thing for them. They're just trying to hold on for dear life and see what happens with the Jarvis Landry hunt and everything like that. And then, of course, Denver, obviously a team everybody needs to watch out for, obviously with the Russell Wilson trade. But also picking up Randy Gregory is pretty big for them. I mean, you're getting a good defensive rusher with Bradley Chubb on the other side. That's
I already said that, Kevin. Why weren't you listening? Oh my gosh, crazy. Jeez. Doesn't feel good, does it, to be called out? Come on, man. Nah, listen, there's been a lot of free agency signings. We got more. We got Julio Jones, Von Miller just signed, excuse me. Julio Jones, Bobby Wagner, among others that need to be signed. This is a lot of free agency still to be happening, so we will be talking about it over there.
believe Tyrann Mathieu still on the table.
Yeah, for sure.
My thing is, speaking of being called out, the Cowboys kind of were called out because they released a post.
It's upsetting.
They released a tweet saying
It's
that Randy
so
Gregory
sad.
was signed back with the Cowboys when
VDE.
he's not. He's
That's
definitely
what they called him.
He's definitely with Denver. So yeah, but kind of speaking, Cullen, what you were talking about, where do you think Julio Jones needs to go? I mean, he's an All-Pro player, wide receiver.
I mean, we
one
just
of the
don't know.
greatest
We just
wide
don't know if
receivers of all
he's.
time.
We just don't know if he's All-Pro worthy anymore. I mean, he's got a lot of injury past.
That's true. I mean, I think
It's hard to judge like a wide receiver like that. It's like DeAndre Hopkins. We don't know if DeAndre Hopkins is going to be as productive this upcoming year as he has been in the past with injuries. It's tough to bet on a wide receiver like that. So he may go somewhere. It's probably going to be a lower level tier team, but
Yeah.
he's not going to get a massive contract like he's wanting.
I don't know. Maybe a good team, because again, like you said, with his injuries and everything, and his play did fall off this past season. I think a good team might be able to get him for a bargain if he wants to sit there and just be like, you know what, I just want to win. Let me take it for the cheap.
Yeah, he could go Chiefs. He could go some contending teams, of course.
Maybe now that Tom Brady's back, he goes to Tampa Bay.
I mean, that's definitely a possibility.
I mean,
but
you never know.
You got Juju on the board. You still have some wide receivers on the table. But with everything that's been going on, a lot of trash franchises are trying to bring themselves to relevancy. I kind of like what Jaguars are doing. I kind of like what Doug Peterson is doing.
Hold on. You're a fan of them paying $74 million to Christian Kirk?
No, I'm not.
Are you kidding me?
I'm not
What?
a fan of that. I'm just a fan.
What?
I'm just a fan of bringing in new guys. Do I think that Christian Kirk is a $74 million wide receiver? Absolutely
Or 72, excuse me. 72. 4 years, $72 million.
I don't believe that whatsoever. But, bringing in guys in general, especially after taking in ownership, is just, it's a good thing to do, to show your team and show your fans that, hey, we are trying our absolute best. Why $72 million to Christian Kirk? I don't think I'll ever understand it, but hey,
I mean, who knows?
Listen, their GM over there,
maybe they
Trent
know
Baalke,
something we don't.
He's not the greatest, and hopefully, he can get out of there, because Trevor Lawrence, he deserves better. So
Hopefully Trevor Lawrence can get the heck out of there. Oh my god! And they just start over again.
Yeah. I mean, they got the number 1 pick 2 years in a row. They used it on him, and that was still not good enough. We need to use it again.
But
with
it's
somebody else.
I just think it's interesting that Miami has been saying, hey, Tua is our guy. And then they're like, well, we're going to go get Teddy Bridgewater just in case.
Yeah.
I mean,
So do y'all think that that's like hey, we got a new starter, or just light a little fire under?
I think a little fire, honestly, because Teddy Bridgewater has been around the league for a long time. He's bounced around different teams. He is, in my eyes, he's like a backup starter, really, or a starter backup. Like
he's a fringe starter, yeah.
Yeah, he could start in this league, like on any team, really, and he can be fine because he has. I think that if Tua's not playing well, then put Teddy in there, and I think you're going to be fine, or maybe even better.
Yeah.
Honestly.
No, I mean, it was a 1 year, $6.5 million fully guaranteed deal that's worth up to $10 million. Excuse me, with incentives. You don't pay that guy unless you have some potential that he could start for your football team.
Ain't that the
Yeah,
truth? And
that
there's
is
not
very
many
true.
guys that can do that.
And speaking of potential starters, it's kind of in the New York, kind of the same thing. They went out and they got Tyrod Taylor. I definitely think Tyrod Taylor is not a quarterback in this league that everybody's like, hey, that is the last guy I want starting for my team. Tyrod Taylor has proven himself in the past to be worthy of taking a starting role somewhere in this season. And so, honestly, for the Giants, this is good. Daniel Jones has never had to fight for his spot. And I think now he has to.
Yeah, absolutely. 100%. I'm not going to say that the Texans played wonderful and fantastic last year, but Tyrod Taylor played his part. He played pretty good last year.
Yeah, and
from what I saw.
And that Texans team was not expected to do much, and Tyrod and Lovie Smith and all those guys, they really did their part in trying to make the best out of that roster.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I mean, there's just there's just a lot to happen. And I mean, I know we already touched on baseball, but with baseball free agency and NFL free agency and everything going on, it's like, woo, my Twitter is
it's blown up.
going
off the chain.
insane.
It's off the charts.
Every time I scroll on Twitter, it's like new deal confirmed, new deal. Sources said. I'm like, whoa.
Yeah. And I think the biggest, like the block that really broke the ice was, I really got to say the Russell Wilson thing. Just when he signed with Denver, everything kind of, Russell Wilson and Aaron Rodgers.
I'm about to say, because
it was like
Aaron's first, and then the Russell news came out, and then everything else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's like, okay, what are these two giants going to do first?
Yeah.
And then it's like, okay, trickle down.
So, I mean, literally, like I just said, I just got on Twitter, started scrolling. Godwin agreed to an extension with the Bucks, a 3-year, $60 million
Chris Godwin.
Yeah, that's what I said. Did I say that?
You said Godwin. You just didn't say his first name, so I was just clarifying that's Chris Godwin.
Okay, I apologize. Yeah, So
He's a guy who wins.
$60 million.
He's a guy who wins, man. You know?
Yeah. No, listen, and congrats to him,
Which
especially
is a
coming
big
off.
pickup for them.
Well, it's not even. It's just like the fact that he's coming off that injury, that very serious injury. I'm so glad that he got paid.
Yeah, well, of course, and Bucks have been talking about him in the past. He's a really good locker room guy. Anthony, I'm sorry, is there an issue?
And Tom Brady's coming back. Oh, man. Come on, man.
Oh, man. Well, listen, we'll see how healthy Godwin can get. He's not going to start the season due to his injury, but we'll wait and see. But
they're going to be spray painting LFG all over that building.
Listen, I think if we talk about any more NFL and Tom Brady, Kevin's head might explode. So
I don't even. I hate that y'all built up that persona.
Listen, we're talking NBA here. We had a couple guys dropping not 10, not 20, not 30, not 40,
not 40,
not 50,
not 50,
60.
60
points.
60 point.
Kyrie Irving and Karl Anthony Towns over the past couple of days have dropped 60-point outings for their respective teams. And it's kind of sparked a recent, it's kind of highlighted the fact that there's been a recent scoring surge in the NBA as of late. I just want to read out some just quick numbers between March 5th and March 15th. LeBron James scored 56 on March 5th. Jason Tatum, 54 on March 6th. Kyrie Irving, March 8th, he scored 50. LeBron James scored 50 points on March 11th. Kevin Durant scored 53 on March 13th. Karl Anthony Towns, March 14th, scored 60. And then March 15th, Kyrie drops 60 as well. 7 NBA games of 50 points or more, 5 different players. Just incredible. Like,
man.
that's
It's
insane.
hooping season.
Hey, man, shout out to Jersey. First of all, Jersey's popping right now because both of them from Jersey as well. I mean, hey, them Jersey boys, man. It's something about that Jersey weather up there, bro.
Oh, yeah.
It's
Dropping
a great
60.
time to be a sports fan with everything we got going on.
Yeah.
NBA race is really eating up.
Yeah. And I mean, well, it's getting time. Anytime it gets kind of after the All-Star break and we're heading down to the end of the regular season come playoff time, teams are trying to get into form because they know it's about to be playoff time, so they're trying to gear into that mode. And some of these superstars, they just decided, I'm going to casually drop 50, 60 points.
Yeah.
No big deal.
No biggie.
No biggie.
You know, big ups for the Mavericks, though, beating the Brooklyn Nets.
Yes,
today.
Kevin, you did highlight that earlier. Do you want to kind of plug that real quick?
Yeah, y'all complain about my Mavs fandom and my bias, so I'll just throw it in there. Spencer Dinwiddie was the sign of the year for us. I mean, absolutely has been playing very good and like I wished for, consistent. He has been playing very consistent, and I love that.
You mean now when you say sign, you mean trade of the year
They
for the
did
Mavericks?
trade.
I
It's the
apologize.
trade of the year.
There was signing somewhere in there, so
Yes.
I mean, he did have to write.
He's
on
just
the
so
dotted
excited
line.
he can't even think straight.
that shot that he made was insane.
See, I told y'all.
Kevin Durant's shot was insane as well. I mean, he was completely crowded by two guys and drained it. But Spencer Dinwiddie to make that with almost little to no time left was a great shot, and just happy for the Mavericks to get that win, but just to move up into fourth and getting closer to that spot. Did they claim that spot?
I'm pulling up
With that
ESPN right
win?
now because I knew you were gonna ask
You
me
know,
that. It's loading. Yes, the Dallas Mavericks are officially in fourth place over a half game ahead of the Utah Jazz for fourth place in the West.
It's not runaway though, because that's a tough few stretch over there.
You know when that trade happened, I know everybody was shocked. And everyone's like, "Oh, it's Spencer Dinwiddie and Bertans, oh, Spencer Dinwiddie, oh, he's lost a step. Oh, no, we don't know. Oh, my gosh, he was great with Brooklyn, but we don't know how. Y'all crazy for y'all for thinking that. Like, Spencer Dinwiddie, guys, I literally said on this podcast, okay, Spencer Dinwiddie, he was just chilling with the Wizards, okay?
Yeah, he was just like
he literally just needed to be with a contender, and he's balling out.
Yeah, I mean, I think I think it was a glove fit for the Mavericks. I mean, they needed him, and he needed the Mavericks, and
all
it's going great.
And then free agency, when free agency comes, they're for sure some superstar is going to be looking at the Mavericks.
It'd be like the first time in a while.
Oh,
yeah.
The Mavericks would get one if that's the case.
Because you have Luka, Spencer Dinwiddie, you have
Jalen Brunson's balling.
Brunson. They cannot lose him.
Oh, I hope not.
They cannot lose him.
I thought they re-signed him. They signed Brunson.
Yeah, they did re-sign him, I believe. So hey, we don't got to worry about that.
But to recap, Spencer Dinwiddie had 22 points. Obviously, that game winner against the Brooklyn Nets in the 113-111 win over the Nets. 18 for the aforementioned Jalen Brunson. But it wouldn't be a Dallas Mavericks conversation if we didn't talk about Kevin's long-lost son, Mr. Luka Doncic.
How would that be my son?
I don't know. Somehow, the way you talk about him, listen, 37, 9-9, Luka Doncic.
He's going to average a triple-double by the end of the year.
I got to pull up his numbers because it's absolutely insane. He's averaging 28, over 9 rebounds, and just under 9 assists.
So, I mean...
So he's close. I mean, I don't know this late in the year if he maybe just goes on an absolute assist and rebounding surge if he really hunts for it.
He is a dark horse for that MVP spot, but that MVP race is getting really, really tight.
Yeah.
Here's what changed. Here's what changed with the Mavericks, okay? Jason Kidd needed Luka. Luka definitely needed Jason Kidd. Mm-hmm. Literally.
Not only that, but we got skinny Luka.
I mean, that's great, but I
there's nothing that skinny Luka can't do.
I definitely put all this on Jason Kidd because Jason Kidd is a player's first coach, right? When he was with Giannis Antetokounmpo, his game completely changed, right? Giannis was a monster. He destroyed people on the court. Most dominant Superman on the court right now, right? With Luka and Jason Kidd, it's like a match made in heaven. Luka's balling out of his mind right now. He's probably top 6 in MVP rating. The Mavericks are elite right now. Defense is on, par right now. And, I don't think it's going to be a first-round exit for the Mavericks when playoffs come.
God, I hope not.
So I'm going to ask you this.
Yeah.
Because you made some great points.
Yeah.
Because we've got the Kia NBA MVP ladder at the moment.
Okay.
We talked about before the show where Luka ranked. In your opinion, where should Luka be in terms of the MVP conversation?
6. I would still agree with 6, like we said off air. Number 1, Jokic, makes sense. He just got 10K points. Number 2, it's tied for number 1 because it's Jokic and Embiid. Okay. I mean, Embiid's balling out of his mind and not losing a step when James Harden got there, picking up another step, another level of eliteness and skill as well, especially just playing right now. I was gonna say playing against the Nets, but they lost against the Nets.
But they got a dub. They got a dub tonight, though.
That's true. They did get a dub tonight. And then number 3 is, oh my gosh, I want to put Job there. Honestly, I really do.
Okay.
I do want to put Job there.
Okay.
But I know it's Giannis number 3, just because it's Giannis Antetokounmpo. And then number 4 is Ja. Number 5 is. You could easily put DeMar there, and then number 6 I would put Luka.
Okay,
but I would say number 5 is between DeMar and Luka.
So you don't put Jason Tatum in that race at all.
I would say he's probably top 10 because if he was doing that in the beginning of the season,
okay,
easily.
But that same argument could be made for Luka.
So where would you have Luka, Mr. Kevin?
I mean,
Walker?
I'd have Luka at 6th, but I would have Jason Tatum at
like 7?
No, I would
like
have
5?
him at 5.
At 5?
And then I'd have Ja at 4.
Okay. I can see that. I mean, Jason Tatum's playing out of his mind.
Well, listen, since we're doing the, are we allowed to say the phrase, the bracket?
Oh, yeah, we'll
for
say
hour 2. We're saving it for that.
Hey, they say all publicity is good publicity. So if they want to sue a little podcast over here in Denton, Texas, I'm okay with it.
So do y'all want a little impromptu Cullen's list? Because I've kind of came up with my own little MVP ranking.
Go ahead, bro.
Oh, I mean, if you can fit it in real quick, let's hear it.
Listen, at number 5 in the MVP.
Don't stretch it though.
No,
Don't make it crazy either.
Number 5, I got Giannis.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Decent.
At number 4, I got Luka.
Okay.
I got number 3, Ja. Number 2, Jokic. And number 1, Joel Embiid.
Okay. You kind of scared him for a little bit. You scared him for a little. It was like, wait a minute.
Listen, I think, y'all being the Mavericks fans, I don't think you're giving Luka Doncic enough credit. Listen, I understand Spencer Dinwiddie has been balling, and he has been one of the better trade acquisitions in terms of the whole NBA season and everything. The fact that Luka Doncic, without really another consistent all-star, because Spencer Dinwiddie hasn't shown that level of play yet, the fact that he's got him, 4th seed in the West, 3rd best record, I want to say, since Christmas in the NBA. It's absolutely astonishing what Luka is doing right now. Now, again, does the beginning of the season hurt him a little bit? Yes, it does. And we'll see kind of how the voters feel like it whenever they kind of gets to voting time. But to me, Luka absolutely deserves to be in that top 5 conversation along with Ja Morant, because Ja's absolutely been balling. He's been absolutely insane for the Memphis Grizzlies without, again, another consistent all-star presence with them. But yeah, listen, Luka's got potential to be a top 3 MVP finisher this season, which would be the highest finish he's had since he joined the NBA.
Yeah.
And
yeah, I would say
that's just my opinion.
It's just the late start. A late start. If he had been balling like this the entire year, he'd probably be top 3.
My thing is top 3 should be Embiid, Jokic, and Ja. Ja's been balling out of his mind this entire year.
Yeah, I mean, there's just so many people.
I think now it's just we live in a day and age of, and I think there's a equal transition of bigs and small and guards, because at times the bigs rule the MVP race, and at times the guards do. It was like Curry, Harden, and LeBron James. I'm not saying LeBron's a guard, but there's always a transition between who's going to be MVP or not. So,
right. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that is going to do it for hour 1. But do come back for hour 2 of this jam-packed episode 16. We are going to be making our bracket predictions and filling out the bracket as a group for the Fools on Stools. And we will also be talking about some North Texas action, all basketball related in hour 2. So do come back. Do stay tuned. It is going to be good. But we got all that and much, much more. So grab a stool, be a fool. See y'all later.